Yes, the crypto market is in a corrective phase right now. This means that there is a lot of fear, doubt, and even a lot of posts saying that the bull run is over. Now, I'm going to talk about a lot of things in this movie. Of course, if you guys watched the live stream earlier today, which will be shown again later today, you already know that a lot of this is just noise. A lot of what we're hearing about how all this bad price action is caused by fear is just noise. We'll talk about that. We're going to talk about why the market is the way it is now and also talk about some old coins. Now let's look at the daily and weekly. Yes, it's red right now. The everyday has just begun to turn green. A few of the old coins are moving around a little. It still looks like a great month. I mean, H4 is up more than 50%, XRP is up more than 30%, XDC is up more than 57%, and XLM is up more than 60%. But the old coins still look very good. Everything is fine here. Bitcoin prices are starting to move in the way I've been warning about for a while now. That's the most important thing about today. We're now at 1113,500, and the chart shows that we hit a new low. We'll talk about that. XRP is still just under 3,000, Ethereum 3,500. Oh, so $3, $50, XLM 38, almost 39. HBAR about 24. There have been some double-digit losses today, but most of these old coins are still green for the week. There are a lot of loses on the weekly level for meme coins, but if we look at this list more closely, most of the old coin market is still looking pretty good on the monthly or even higher time frame levels. In a sense, this is just a corrective step. We also kept an eye on stocks today because they fell a lot from their recent high point. They were down, and when the market closed, they were down about 3%. We really did hit that goal I was telling you about. And if you watched the video from midnight yesterday, you'll remember that I said we're not going to about 6,500 here anymore. We did, however, reach the red zone, and as I said, this is the next step for the stocks, right? In that case, we did get that move on the S&P. There was the sell-off. Have we reached the bottom? First, it's clear that Monday will be a very important day to watch for stocks. I still think we can get to this low level, which is around 6,200. There's a range from 61 to 6,200, but that would test the high from February around 6,050. That's where I think the turnaround will happen from then on. Now, I've seen a lot of people say things like, oh, well, with the trade war and tax talks, do you think something similar will happen again, with a huge sell-off across the board? I don't think so. I believe that markets have grown up enough for people to say, hey, listen, these tariffs and this trade war are just noise. They'll figure it out. We've been hearing about these trade deals all year, right? China and the US are beginning to work together. The EU already agreed to trade. They are already making a trade deal. It looks like the UK wants to make a trade deal. It seems like all of these big deals have happened in the last 3 months or so. And while we're thinking about that, all this noise about trade talks is just that. It sounds like no. Having said that, I think we will get through this pullback and then have a big jump up the upside. This is because we have live reports from CNBC right now. Tariffs by Trump make the world economy even less certain. In fact, that's what caused stocks to drop, which in turn caused crypto to drop everywhere. It was clear that crypto was going to have a drop anyway, but this certainly sped things up. We hit about $95 million in liquidations. It looked like a little more than $1 billion. But this was the watch for sale. In the past 24 hours, more than $95 million has been lost. More than 19,800 buyers lost all their money. 23 million from longs. 82 million from shorts. Biggest hit was a 13 Ethereum long worth almost $8 million. Keep your mind sharp out there. Okay, then listen, the market had a big overreaction to the liquidation wave. And if we look over here at the Scott and Sex account, we can see that US has made historic progress in the last 2 weeks in having good ties with China, Japan, and South Korea. These events are a big step forward in our efforts to rebalance global trade and carry out President Trump's America First trade plan around the world. Yes, we do have all the important news here. Of course, you guys are more than welcome to go check it out if you want. But now we know that the trade deal with South Korea will be made public on the 31st. Oh, there are some new things with China. It's clear that they haven't made a deal yet, but they are working on it. However, things are beginning to move forward in a big way. And I want people to understand that when the news is full of talk about doubt and fear levels are rising again, it's usually a good time to take a step back, look at the market from a distance and say, listen, we made it this far. I don't believe that this is really something to be worried about, even for the whole crypto market right now. Let us check to see if everything is still correct. Fear and greed are now down to about 51. It's great to see this. $3.7 trillion in market value. There's nothing too crazy there. I just said that in the live stream, and good for you if you were there. But this makes us feel like we're going back in time, right? Let's go back to September. In September it got all the way down to about 30 or 35. Some of them like number 26. You should have bought the market at this point. We didn't even have to drop to get to these lows. It was just, giving up on time. It was pretty dull at the market. Even XRP said in the live stream, at that time almost everyone was against XRP because of what we were doing. We have been trading in a straight line until we had that huge rise to the upside. Once more, this was a great time to buy XRP and old coins. Also more recently, from March to April of this year, the market finally hit bottom. Let's go back to stocks for a moment. In April we finally hit bottom. It's a great time to put money into crypto, index funds with the S&P, or even investments in the S&P or certain stocks. That was a great time because people were not afraid of anything. And now that we think about it, the market is beginning to move back toward neutrality. I believe we still have a little more time until we really see numbers in the low 40s. Okay, but this is going to be a great chance again. I do believe Bitcoin is almost at its lowest point. I think I've already said that a lot of times. So far, 112K is my main goal. This is how the chart looks. We have yet to see those highs tried again for May. The S&P is the same, right? We still want to test those highs again, which we did back in February of this year. I think we might have to test that again before Bitcoin makes a nice comeback. Again, May is the main subject. It's likely that we'll try these lows again. We'll try to break through the 117K level again, and if we fail we might sell off again and hit one of these big wick level. After that we finally get the big break back to 120K. We test that amount of resistance again, from 120K. Following that tough level of 117K, we finally see the big break. We're now at $130,000. Would it be possible for us to lose this high and go a little lower? Yes, of course, that's always there. It's possible that we can go a little lower. What level do I need to keep an eye on right now? That being said, there is a fair amount of support down here at about 107K. That's the next step of paying attention. Losing 112K won't be the end of the world. It just means a little more pain, which is normal in this market. While we know that max pain events are very painful, they would also destroy sentiment, which is already beginning to do so. For those of us who are bullish on the market right now, this is good news because it means that opinion is going to change. Here liquidity will be grabbed because, as we said before, every time we sell longs we add more liquidity to the market. Then we can sell shorts, which adds even more liquidity.